What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We just got back from Riverside, California a couple days ago. I want to say today is Monday and we got back on Saturday night. It was pretty late, but we have the Trail Boss back there. We got new suspension in there. As you can see, I have it raised up just a bit. We're going to work on it a little bit, just dial it in how we like it. Adjustments are super easy, so I'll kind of go over the adjustment process with you guys and show you how it's done. So as you can see, we got it raised up just a little bit. The wheel isn't fully off the ground, but this will do. All you're gonna need is a 3/8 drive. They give you this little wrench. So Peak will give you this little wrench. This is basically like a spanner tool. Luckily, they have it hooked up to where you just pop it into a socket. I'm using a breaker bar just because it's gonna be a little bit more convenient to get more leverage. Should be fairly simple, but first step, you're gonna wanna raise up your truck. If you got a lift or something, throw it on the lift, it's easier. You could take the coils out to do all this, but we're gonna do it just as is. And if you can't tell, I did mess up the coating just a little bit. Nick's probably gonna kill me if he sees this, but yeah, I just messed up the coating a little bit. Not a major deal to me. These things are gonna be used. They're gonna be put through the ringer, and so far so good. The ride's real good. So we'll start off with adjusting the coilovers on height, right? Okay, so step one, you have this little locking ring. There's a 5mm Allen head that goes in here, or hex key, whatever you want to call it. So what you're gonna do is loosen that. You don't wanna loosen it all the way. If you do, you're gonna risk opening this little collar all the way up, and then you're gonna have some major issues getting it back on. So just be mindful of that. You want it loose, not all the way out. So I'm gonna just loosen it up a little bit with my 5mm, and then we'll start adjusting. But yeah, just look at the setup. It's beautiful. Everything looks proper, nice and shiny, clean. I'm loving it so far. Like I said, it rides pretty good so far. I'm just gonna dial it in on ride height and hit the adjustments a little bit. I already did, but I'll show you how that's done on camera. Super simple. See those adjustment knobs down there? That's what we'll be getting into after this. So let's go ahead, loosen that up, and then we'll get into the adjustments. All right, so I'm just gonna use a little Allen key. I don't want to over tighten it. A lot of the time you guys see me using like an impact gun and things like that. I just don't wanna damage it, don't wanna strip it, and definitely don't wanna over tighten or over loosen. So I'm just gonna give it a couple turns, and you can see it kind of open up. You're gonna hear it kind of make a little bit of noise. So it's opened up a little bit. We should be able to rotate it with ease, especially on a breaker bar and their spanning tool. So I'll show you how that works right now. And you guys want to remember, I want to say like one full turn is going to be like 10 millimeters or something like that. So about just a little over 1/4 inch. So we're going to do a couple turns on it, raise up the front end, and then we'll measure both sides. I did measure both sides already, and your measurements want to come from how I do it is going to be the top of this lug, because it's basically centered with right up here, if you could see. So I'll measure from here to here, the bottom of this, or if it's more convenient, you can use this marking. They should be both the same on the same side or on opposite sides, and it should give you a pretty accurate measurement. So we're gonna go ahead and start giving it some turns. So just like everything else, righty tighty, lefty loosey. If you guys are turning this clockwise, what it's gonna do is raise it up. If you're turning it counterclockwise, it's gonna lower it. These were preset to be level with the truck on a factory lift, you know, nothing raised in the rear, but I do have a shackle, and they did do the add a leaf, so I'm about 1 inch taller in the back. I'm gonna have a little bit of rake, and I'm okay with that. I just don't wanna max these out all the way. So what you wanna do is get that little spanner tool on there first, and then from there, then you'll put the breaker bar on. That's your best way to go about this. And you got just enough clearance to clear that line for the oil line for the coilovers. So they made a great design on this, super convenient. So I'm gonna go ahead and start giving it some turns. If I can get it on video, I will. Let's see. All right, so I made my adjustments. I just basically did a one full turn all the way around. Oh, man, I can't believe I'm making these look like that. So obviously we want to be a little bit more gentle with it. I was kind of being in a hurry, like always. So I'm just tightening this back up, the locking ring. Try not to over tighten it, but you do want it pretty sturdy in there. I want to say that's good. Let's see if I can get an angle on it this way. Yeah, that's good. All right, so there you have it. It's all tightened up. And obviously, because my tire's not all the way off the ground, so as I'm raising it, it was getting a little bit harder and harder and harder, mostly towards the end. But their design of that spanner wrench is solid. Sometimes you got to get a little bit tight right here and you'll end up hitting this, but that's okay. Just don't force it, and obviously be a little bit more gentle than I was. But overall, we should be sitting how we want it. And yeah, let's lower it down. We'll take a measurement real quick and see how it looks. All right, so from here we're about 8 1/4. Kind of measure off this lug. Yeah, I'm sitting right about 8 1/4. I'm slightly above it. All right, so we're gonna go check the other side. Let's go check it out. Side is right over 8 1/4. It's pretty spot on, pretty even. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I raise her up more? All right, so here's our reservoirs. I'm gonna just go in depth a little bit about these adjustments. As you can see, we have a bigger dial here, a smaller one. You got your low speed compression and your high speed compression. This doesn't have to do with the exact speed that you're driving. These are dual speed compression adjustable. What that mostly is about is how fast that shaft is going to rebound and how fast it's going to sink down or compress, right? Like I said, these are independent. So just because you turn one knob doesn't mean that that other knob is turning. So it's turning in visual, but they are independent. They have their own clicks. Whatever you do here will not affect this, and whatever you do here will not affect the other. Just be aware of that. And they're not like click, click, but you definitely get some feedback. It's almost like, I don't know, if you ever played PlayStation 5, you know, the triggers, how they have that little haptic feedback. It feels very similar to that. Very crisp, very smooth. Everything operates smoothly. But yeah, so that's how you're going to adjust those. They both have their pros and cons. They both have their times of use of when you would stiffen them up or loosen them. I did hit some areas where there was like these crazy little hills. Actually on the highway, I think the speed limit was like 40 or something. Kind of took them at speed just to see how it felt, and everything just felt amazing. I was actually really surprised. Me and my wife kind of looked at each other like, what? Like, these didn't feel like that before. So I mean, everything feels dialed in. We got the little diff drop right back there peeking through. CV angles, these are very close to being maxed out, the coilovers, and that is just because I have the add a leaf on there. But CV angles are pretty good. They're very close to what they were before. So yep, that's how you adjust them. We have those adjustments on the back, those little knobs, front and back. And like I said, time and place for each of those. Definitely enjoying these so far. Once I get out into some dirt, some rock crawling, maybe even something new, we'll see what Downtime Lost is up to. Curtis, you all know him. He might be up to something, so maybe we'll meet up and put some things to the test. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, that does it for today's video. And if you ever have any questions, hit me up, hit up Peak. They do send out this booklet with all the information, the owner's manual on the shocks. Solid setup, I'm digging it. We'll do like a full review. Today's video was just basically how to adjust it, how things are kind of going for me. And yeah, I'm loving it. So hopefully it helps you guys out. Whoever needs to adjust their coilovers or whoever is interested, make sure to check the links in my description. I do have a discount code in there. A link will take you directly there. And if you decide to go there on your own, just use code that1_trailboss and it'll save you some cash. can't go wrong with Peak. They carry a lot more items than just what I have on there, so go ahead and check them out. I'll have everything linked in the description, along with all my other good stuff on there. So as always, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming back. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.